Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a weird video, but I just got recommended since I've been playing Dead Frontier on a controller for two days now, technically 2 days. Someone wanted to, or someone wants me to post a tutorial on how to play Dead Frontier with a controller. Right now, I am literally playing with a controller. Let me go enter Wasteland, so at least then it's like at least some actual gameplay going on. But anyway, as long as you can bind everything, Dead Frontier will work just fine with a controller. It doesn't actually have controller support on its own. However, what you can do is you can use a program, which is on the left. I'm personally using XPadder since I bought a Xbox controller. XPadder was actually recommended to me by a Pretty friend, which is pretty cool. And the entire reason that I am playing on a controller for probably the foreseeable future is because my hands are fucked up and the keyboard hurts. I literally can't really play with a keyboard anymore because it hurts my hands too much. And on top of that, playing with a controller is surprisingly comfortable. I'm sitting pretty far back right now. I'm sitting pretty far back, just kind of chilling. And just have the controller inside of my lap, just absolutely chilling. I'll move it this slouch, you know, I got that gamer slouch going on like a little couch potato. But anyway, I suppose we should get to the actual tutorial. First off, let me show, obviously, if you see in the middle of my controller Z, that's actually my menu key. I press that, you know, menu opens, I press it again, menu cancels. We got the inventory, which will cancel that. Then we have switching the weapons. Here we go. You can reload, obviously. You really have all of the functions that you need. If you're wondering what B is used for, that's for barricading. T is just so I don't have to click no manually when I'm looting. Left bumper is my looting button, or my interacting button for E. It also accepts any loot that I pick up. Enter is just something for when I'm doing marketplace things on the controller, which is not efficient whatsoever, but sometimes it could be kind of useful if you don't have to do much. V is to pull up my map, so the A button is to pull up my map. However, let's actually get in here, teach you how to do this type of stuff. So first off, obviously, you're gonna want a controller. So, and let me show you something that's kind of neat about XPadder is that it'll recognize when you plug in a controller. I'll take my controller out really quick. Whoops, I accidentally clicked using my controller, my bad. Take out my controller, unplugged, now it's gone. So obviously now I'm just doing everything with keyboard and mouse. Obviously there's no wireless on this controller. I hate wireless, so I'm not using it. However, we'll plug that back in, and as you can see, everything comes back on. The keybinds are all saved because you can actually save layouts and whatnot. So say you want to you want to play, for me personally, I'd play Valheim as well on a controller. I would make a different setup for Valheim. However, this is specifically just Dead Frontier, playing Dead Frontier on a controller, which is super niche category, and the only other person that I know that plays on a controller, if I remember, I call him Civco, but I think his username is like CVS8, no, not S8, 78CO, so CV78CO. I call him Civco, but that's another area that I got the idea from. So, it's actually pretty simple to use this little thing here. So we'll go settings, and this is just XPadder specific. It's not super different on most other things. So first off, I'm gonna actually just disable the stick. Now you can hear I'm trying to move my mouse. It's not working. So what we'll do is we'll enable it, and we'll push it left as it tells me, left, up, and now you can see it's all bound, it's all good. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab it over here. We're just gonna move it. You don't have to move it. It's just kind of like for a visual example of what your controller is doing. You can get the image simply by copying a controller image on Google and literally just clicking paste and you're good. So D-pad, you know, you press enable, it's the same thing. You just press enable, click the buttons, and then you can move it. And to actually bind stuff, so that's generally just any button that you need to add. You just press the button on the gamepad, and it adds it to the layout. Here, I'll even delete this one. So for buttons, I need a minimap button, right? Or an expand minimap button. I'll press A, and you can see that it just chucked it on my controller somewhere. I can put it over there. Say by default, obviously by default, this would not have a bind. So we'll just do this as though it's completely new. So you have the A button here, and obviously for me personally, I want it to be my expand minimap button. So I'll click on it. Now we get a bunch of options. Now I'll click V. That is it. That's as simple as it gets. One thing though is that for mouse movement, you'll want to click over here. So we'll say none. So I can move my mouse every which way except left right now. So we'll do this. We'll click that. And to go even further, we can go into the settings. We can do some dead zone stuff, whatnot. It doesn't matter unless your your controller is old and kind of dead. But anyway, now what we'll do is we'll go into settings, and you can see this is the mouse settings. This isn't a great tutorial, but it's, you know, it's just kind of showing how to do it for Dead Frontier specifically. This is thinking that you at least have some knowledge of programs like this. It's just, you just gotta hit the keybinds. This will make the mouse slower. So now I'm pointing left, and you can see every which way. It's very fast. So we'll chuck that on max. Press OK. Now everything's all good, and that's really it. It's a pretty simple program. Trying to do this all on the controller. It's a pretty simple program. Not too much going on. However, it's very useful. And one last thing is the hold key. We'll go into the settings. Whoops. We'll go into advanced, my bad. Advanced is some other stuff. So the assignments, you don't really have to worry about any of this. Especially for a game as simple as this. You don't have to worry. There's a toggle option. So here you can see that there's a blue underline on this. That's because when I click the bumper, it toggles my mouse. But if I click the trigger, it doesn't toggle my mouse. So trigger, let go, doesn't toggle my mouse. I clicked the bumper, it toggled my mouse, I'm all good, I don't ever have to press it ever again. And on top of that, with this, you can actually go outside of the program in windowed mode without risking accidentally clicking out. Obviously, you're using a controller, it's a bit risky. You might want to chuck it in full screen, but yeah, this is just playing Dead Frontier on a controller, really. It's pretty neat. If you wanna kind of do some comfy gaming, you can definitely do some really comfortable gaming. Obviously, this is just not viable in PvP. If anyone could win PvP playing with a fucking controller, like streaming themselves playing with a fucking controller, that would be insane. But obviously, for just like most other gameplay of the game, it's fine. It's perfect, honestly. It's a little clunky. It might get a little bit getting used to it first. Yeah,